Tiny city cars are big business in Europe, but not so much in the United States, where few Americans have yet to break out of the small is cheap mindset. At least that was true until BMW came along with the modern Mini. That car is now in its second generation, and it finally faces some stiff competition from the Fiat 500. In base Cooper spec, the Mini's 1.6-liter engine produces 121 horsepower. At its launch, the Fiat offers only a naturally aspirated 1.4-liter 4, producing 20 fewer horses. We knew from the get-go that both cars would be fine zipping around the city, so we drove them to our favorite roads in southern Ohio hills to present a greater challenge. When these two cars were conceived, their manufacturers never intended the two to compete. The Mini is very much a sort of luxurious, compact, funny sport niche kind of unto itself. And this car was conceived wholly as economy compact on much smaller dimensions. And after just a few miles of driving, you can feel the difference in that this car has a little more body roll than the Mini. It leans on its outer corner on turn-in, and you get this funny moment of roll that you think might be understeer, when in fact it just has to take a set, and once it gets settled, the limits are quite high. It's got very light steering at low speeds, but it weights up considerably beyond 35 miles an hour. It still is a surprisingly fun car. It's much more fun than I thought it would be, given its very modest roots.
Neither the Mini or the Fiat have incredibly communicative steering, but they're both incredibly smooth in operation, and engaging the sport button in either of them adds a decent amount of heft. One thing the Mini really has going for it, about 20 more horsepower. It's a pretty significant difference between the two, especially when trying to maintain momentum on back roads. It's really solid structure. It's never uncomfortable. It's pretty quiet, yet going through some of these quicker corners, it's totally flat and composed.
Initially, the Fiat will be sold in densely populated urban areas only, frankly where style matters more than performance. But the fact is the Mini's powertrain is more flexible, its chassis is more capable, and it offers overall greater comfort. There's no doubt that the Fiat 500 has style, but the Mini has both style and agility.